Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
Thank you for joining me today. We got the 360 of B39 and B40 Crane Master and Load Master, which we know as hook and long haul, the final constructicons. I had to think about it. It's a lot going on, so we're gonna get right into it. You see the 360, and these are probably two of my favorite looking bots out of the 6, but I don't like them at all. No, the transformation is overcomplicated to me, and also the directions suck and make the transformation even more complicated if you follow directions. All right, so we'll get into it. Yeah, here we have long haul and hook, and I do like the way they look. See, it's face sculpt. I love these sculpts. I think Magic Square does a great job with the sculpts. As usual, I think they always do a great job with the sculpts. I don't think that's ever in question. I think the question is usually the plastic and the paint. They are the dull yellow, which I like personally. I know some people don't and they prefer New Age, but I don't really like New Age's Devastator, so I went with Magic Square. So we got a ton of accessories and we're going to get into it right away. So accessories wise, you got the book, and one thing about the book that I do like, even though directions kind of suck, it does show all the bots, all 6 of them, and how to get them into Devastator mode. So I do like that, even though it shows it in the directions that came with the other bots. They know you might have lost them or whatever. I don't know. But so you got this bottom piece, which is the parts forming piece for the legs, which I'm always appreciative. I'm glad it's only this, but I'm glad it's this because I don't think Devastator looks right without parts forming, personally, ever since Toy World. You got that extra crotch so you can get the different looks. You got these 2 top shin pieces. Well, not shin. Shin would be down here. Like the top of the thigh near the hip pieces. That's what I was looking for. And you have the thigh pieces, the other thigh pieces. And I will show all that more with Devastator. And I'm not sure if I showed, you get a different face for Devastator. Because the face you have, you also get this piece, which is the chest piece and the head piece. And we'll get into Devastator more. You also get the gun. And that's it that you get with that. These you got with the other 2, but I'm about to show you how to make the little drill thing. You also have the box, which is the normal box. It's the big box, but needed to be the big box this time because it was a lot of parts. Just their normal type style. And you get the cards. You can see Load Master, Crane Master, and their tech specs on the back. So if you're into the cards, you're good with that. So now I'll show you how we can get the crane mode, or not the crane mode, talking about the crane mode. I got crane on my mind. We got the drill mode. So what you do, you just take the front and back skirts and just switch them. Not sure why they made it this complicated. I could have did without that because now you got this right here and you have these holes right here. I guess they didn't want to put those holes here because it would look kind of funny, but I mean, I guess it would have been what it is. So then you take this. I already turned his head around. You got to turn his head around because I believe it's like that. I turned it around earlier. You have these things. These 2 tabs are going to tab into the sides right here. So you just tab them things in right there real quick. Then you just situate this like that. So you got that piece done. Take the gun. The gun does flip apart. This piece here tabs in right there to that tab. Then you got to get the drills. Make sure you maneuver this piece like this. and this tab is in. So you can see, I'll do it later, but you gotta have the tab in, and this gotta be maneuvered out the way somehow. And then these two spaces on the side just go up in here like this. Take this. This one don't matter because it's just right like that. Slide this up in here like this. Then you take this gun, and it has two tabs on the side, and they just go in those holes in the tabs. And make for a tighter fit, but at the same time, it is nerve-wracking. And there you go. There you have the drill. It's cool. I mean, it's like kind of throwaway mode, but it's something that you can do with the parts if you're not using them. If you got the bots and you just, bam, you just want them on display with all the parts, because this is all the parts and there's nothing missing. These are all the extras. So let's roll. Let's go. Let's go. So now let's do some comparisons. We'll compare him with, or them, with Megatron. And this is New Age Megatron, by the way. And I think they're pretty on point. Pretty good in comparison. I think that's a good scale. And let's get the teammates. I probably should have said it in the beginning. Unfortunately, I'm not going to transform these guys back to robot after I do vehicle, because I'm doing Devastator. The next video of these guys will be Devastator. So I need to transform all of these into vehicle mode, because that's the way you get them into limb modes. And it's easier to go from vehicle to limb. And after you see these transformations, you'll see why I'm not transforming them back to the robot and then transforming them back to a vehicle to then transform it back to the limb. This is the team, and I like the team together. The team is great. You can bring the thing in if you wanted to display them like that. You got all the parts here. You don't have to keep it in the box. I do like that. I like that they did something with the parts, even if it's just whatever. But they all go together well. And I like the team. I always did. I always liked Magic Squares anyway. Again, there's people's differences. People have preferences, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Their sculpts are always on point to me. Like, these sculpts are on point as far as the team. Now, you can debate the paint, you can debate the materials, you can debate whatever else, because everything else is debatable, and understandably. But to me, the sculpts are always on point. So I usually go for the sculpts, except for the Cyclonus coming out. Okay, that's another, because that New Age Cyclonus looks good, sculpt wise and paint wise. All right, so let's get into this. Do one at a time as far as articulation and looking at some of the things. Some of the issues I've had, I know I try to do issues first. Some of the issues I had with this guy is the same as that guy. He's floppy as he's transforming. He's very complicated. He has a lot of parts. You see, he looks like craziness in the back. Of course, they couldn't cover all this up. I'm kind of glad they didn't, because I didn't need another panel to flip and fold over. It's the dull red. My lights are making it look a little more brighter than it is. I hate that, because I hate to show, I hate people to see the paint and think it's a brighter paint. It's not. Like, a lot of the pictures you've seen where it's like kind of dull, I know some people complained. It's that's how it looks. So if I turn the light down, I like the light up because it's easier to see the actual figure. But if I turn it down, it's more muted. It's more what color it is. You can see with both of them, that's more on point to what it is. I'm turning it back up just for the review because it's easier to see the moving parts when you do have the ISO kind of higher. Yeah, I showed his head sculpt. He got good paint, the yellow paint there, paint there. I do wish the whole figure was painted a little better other than this plastic, but it's just the yellow plastic. It has the red and purple here for the windows. I think it's great. The black arms, it's just black plastic, I believe. And he has his gun. That's the other accessory that comes with him. And even though I skipped over that, it's just a cast. It's the normal type gun. So then we get into articulation. His head can move up like that, more due to transformation because there's a big hole behind his neck, and down about that much. And no real side to side. It can move all the way around. It is on a ball joint that's tight. His arm moves all the way around. Of course, it's all friction. He goes up like this on the shoulders. He has single jointed elbows that get you more than 90 degrees, but just slightly more. He has right here, this does come after the first time transforming this. It's not real tight. Like, I don't even know if that peg is for, I think it is supposed to be for that, but it's gotten really loose. The hands, fixed hands, of course, you can move them all the way around if you want. And he has bicep swivel. Waist swivel is all the way around. Skirts, of course, he has the single skirt. A lot of people don't like that. And I understand why if you're a poser. Not saying a fake person, I mean a poser of figures. If you pose your figures in dynamic poses, I understand why you don't like the skirts that go up all the way. But you don't even have to put that skirt up to get it to the splits. Friction. It's not loose, but it's not tight. Then we get the forward and back, the hurdles. He's not hurdling. Well, he might be hurdling the baby hurdles, but what you gonna do? Knee is double jointed, and you get all the way to his butt. He kicking his own butt. You get the swivel up here and show the knee, and then you get a rocker. This little foot right here, and this moves too due to transformation. Shouldn't really move, but it does. And that's it. Now let's do his articulation. I'm just gonna go on one by one, and this is supposed to stay tabbed in there. But you can move up about that far, you move down like that, a little bit of side to side, and he does spin 360. His arms get up on the shoulders a little bit farther. He has double jointed elbows, actually. Let me get his gun out. His gun, just so we can show it, just a piece of, just got a little scope. They're all a little different. That's cool, but he got double jointed elbows that get all the way to the top. And he has that same piece, and it's not tight either, so that's loose. It does come out. I don't like that his arms aren't fixed anywhere. You do get that extra butterfly because of that. But I think they maybe missed a tab or something that they should have put. But I'm kind of glad they didn't. I'm just making note of it, but being a person who transforms figures, I'm kind of glad they did not put that there. This moves to get out the way so you can get his waist all the way around. He does get kind of waist bend. It's at the bottom. I don't know if this, he gets this joint, which is mainly for transformation. He gets out and back, so he can do the hurdles. He's hurdling full force. And then you get out. You can move these out the way if you really need it to. Like, you can, I think you can. and get more. Let me see. This is supposed to be up here too. This does come down, so that's a gripe. It's not a tight joint right there. So that's not the greatest right there. You can see it. It's supposed to go in there, and it doesn't really. And it does come out when you're manipulating it. His skirts do not move. Wait, the one moves all the way up. The sides don't move. And wait, I'm lying again. Am I? No, I don't think the sides move. I think that's transformation. Yeah, no. Sides don't move. You already saw the hurdles, but let me see the side. This is what I was talking about. Like, you can move these out the way in order to get the full splits, but you do have to bend this down a little, which it bends down anyway. So there's that. Then you got the swivel right there. You got the knee that's not double jointed, so you only get 90 degrees. Then you get the toe down here moves on the ankle rocker. You don't really get down or up. I think that's it. And the hands are normal hands, bicep swivel. He has a normal bicep swivel. Hands is just fixed and they go in a circle. Go around, and that's pretty much it for him. Transformation. So transformation to the vehicle for long haul. Has a couple complicated spots, but they're not as complicated as directions make it seem. So here's what we're going to do. Going to turn his head around like this, just so I don't forget. You probably won't forget. Then I'll pull this out and up. Some of this stuff I'm just doing just to do it first. Pull this out and up. Get this out all the way up like this. Now you have all this right here. This is gonna, it's on like a double hinge right there. So you're gonna want to put it up. And for now, it's gonna leave like this. This is what I'm talking about when it's floppy. But you want to do both sides. You can move this up to this joint because it's gonna be, that's how the end's gonna be like that. And it can help with getting stuff out the way. But for now, you're trying to move this on that double hinge, the same hinge that's over here. You want it to go up and over like that, up and over. So that's what you're trying to do. It is a little difficult because the hinge doesn't seem to move too good. But then when you have it like this, then you can pull these arms like kind of out, and they'll come out automatically, and you can just swivel them down just to get them out the way of all this. Because then you want to move this down, and you got to have these up like this. So you move that down, move this out, comes the bumper, move this out. Now, getting somewhere. Now you want to push this up, back here. These go up. There's a peg. Of course, that peg is tight. Most of the pegs are. Then you want to move this down, and there's a peg here that goes into here, and this kind of sits in there, and you'll see when I do it. And I just did that one and did that one. Get them in there pretty tight. Then you can move this back down and get this in there, sits in there like that. And then you can move the head in because there's enough room to push it all the way in. So move this around here like this. Open that up, makes that little window. Move this up. It's going to be like that. This here, you flip over, and then you flip this piece down. You can move this too, just so you don't forget. And then you can connect these like that. And then these fold over here. Try to push this in there like that. Get that in all the way in the back. And then this will connect there. Pushes in and make the little window thing. So you got the smokestack in the window. So you got that done. Now for these arms are a little tricky. I hope you can see it. You want to bend this out like this. Once you do that, you should be able to move this wheel. You want the flat part to move down, so this flat part is on top of that flat part. So that's what you want to do. But you got to try to get it's easier to move this arm out there like that so you can get more room to work. Then you can move this all the way, move that down, move this back up till it looks like that. Now eventually it's going to move up and sit in here, kind of like that, but not yet. So then you want to move this. The way you know which way you have it is because these two pins, because you're going to have to flip this up like this, and you need to move this hand so it's over top of the stuff. Well, I guess I don't know if it matters or not. I just moved it so it had enough room. So basically it's that. And once you get everything together, it kind of solidifies easier because this doesn't really fit. It's supposed to tab on it there, and it does, but you'll see. So then move this down here. This is super flimsy right here, so be careful. It does feel like it could break, but with Magic Square's plastic, which may be why they use the plastic, is because it probably won't break with their plastic. Then you move this out like that, move this down, and then move this in. Then you gotta move however you can get that to get this doubled up. Then I move the hand. I don't move the hand beforehand. You can move the hand beforehand, but I don't because, no pun intended, because I don't know which way. I'll be winging it. It's like a winging. But you want this to sit up in there like that. There's a tab. It doesn't really tab in, but it fits into a slot and it's angled. I don't think it tabs in, or maybe it's supposed to tab in, but it doesn't really tab in. That could be the case. There you go, just like that. So that's how you should have it. Now you're here. You want to pull, it's a peg right there. I don't know if you can see that. Pull that out, push it down. Now move this like that. That moves there. Now you got these legs to contend with. Move that out. Move this foot down like that. Move this out like that. Kind of pull this wheel out. I pull the wheel out. Then move this all the way up here like that. And you can flip this little flap right here. It's not attached to the wheel, so don't try to flip the wheel. It's just this flap. Pull that out and you flip this down. Then you can put this all the way down and move that like that. Now you can move this all the way out like that. Then there's a little flap here. And you move this all the way up and you see it makes everything right. There's a tab here, but it's like a hook tab. So it's super hard to get off, or it was. There you go. It wasn't that hard. And then this is going to just fold over here like this. But I usually wait because I like to tab them together. It's kind of easier. So then same over here. You pull this down, move this foot out like that. You move this down like that. You can move this out now if you want, because it does make a little more room. Pull this tire out, flip this little piece right here out like that. Then you want to flip this in because it creates the space you need. to flip this little piece out. Again, it's not hooked to the tire. I thought it was hooked to the tire, so I was moving it like that, and I probably almost broke it. Just move that out, bend that down, then move this back, move that like that. Now, move this back to position and get this off of this piece right here. So to move like that, and it'll move on that joint. So to move like this also. So then when you're just moving it up and trying to situate it how you should. Oh, I forgot one part. This piece, sorry about that. It's a lot going on. So this piece right here, move up like this, yeah, and then flip it over, because then you have enough room. And what you're trying to do is a tab space there, it goes in that tab there. Again, over here, the tab space here goes to that tab there and that tab there, and then these tab together. So that's what you're trying to do. You might have to just maneuver it and then get it up there where it's supposed to go. Usually I get these on, make sure it's not like running into too much stuff, because it does get crazy. This back here is an over under tab. Kind of tab that together. Then this kind of tab together. And then you just try to get all this together. Try to did I fold these wheels out? I did not. Fold these wheels out. I'm about to, sorry about that. It's a lot going on with this guy, so my fault. Again, all this stuff is falls apart, and just gotta get it the best you can. That's kind of where it should be. This side, move this back, kind of where it should be. Now I want to hook these. It's like a over under tab that just tab it on top. If you have it right, it'll go in there. So I like to hook those on, because then I know I am kind of right, and then I can get the front together. There we go. Now I can try to get this together, and it usually goes together well if you got everything right. You might not have everything underneath right. The arms sometimes see how the arms got dislodged? They ain't really get dislodged. They didn't go under here like they're supposed to. And I believe there's a tab that they go into. See, these are supposed to stay right there, and they're not. There we go. Get that in. And see, everything has to be right in order to get all these tabs right. And see, this thing came out. Here we go. Looks like everything is good. Get that together. Like it's all good. Here we are. Finished. Like I said, I'm not going back to robot. You saw that transformation. The next transformation will be straight to Devastator mode. But you see the bottom's a mess. It's a mess. But I do like how they did this. I do like some of the transformation. It's just, I think the Legends, it doesn't lend itself to be the smoothest and easiest thing to do, because they're so small. Maybe that transformation would have worked in a Masterpiece. It still would have been complicated, but it probably would have maybe been better to do. But still, I like this. I like the mode. I think it's pretty good. It does have, I was like, I wonder if there's anything that comes here to cover this up, but I guess not. Ooh, though, it rolls. Wheels are the plastic wheels. Got the paint from the knees that translate into here and all this. And you got the purple windows and lights painted. I think it's pretty good. It looks like a seat in there. It's a construction vehicle. So now for this guy, this guy. This guy they make look so complicated. I mean, he is complicated, but not as complicated as the directions make. They make him look super, super complicated. So let's get into it. So we can move this up. I usually, well, we can pull this up now just because you can leave that for last. I don't know what to do with it. Move this up, flip around, put it on his back. Move this up, put it on his back. Get this head up, move it around like that. You move this all the way up, and then you pull this up like that. It's on pins. You can see the pins once you pull this up, and this will be the final position for his head. Now this, you want to move the arms all the way out so you can get enough. If the arms are in the right place, because they move up and down on these little hinges right there. So if they're in the right place, you can move the arms all the way out, and then move this all the way out, and it's easier to get this out. It still is kind of hard, but once you do it, then you move this down. You know, sometimes you got to stretch around, but they go all the way down. That's what I didn't know at first. So they go all the way down, and then you can move them up, and then you can move them back like that. So same over here, you can move it down, and again all the way down, and then move it to turn it out, and then you can move it up. Now his arms are tricky because then you want to move them in, but you want to move them out like this on this angle, so they're out more here. Then you got to figure out they bend this way on that double hinge right there that bends up. So whichever way it can do that, that's which way you do it. And then you got to turn the hand so it's kind of slanted with that, which is up. And that's how you can tell which way you got it, if you got it correct. So again, over here, close that. Then you move it on this arm so it's more flush with this, more parallel. Move this like that. And then because I can see where the double hinge is, and then you want to move this hand so it fits there like that and just fills that little space. So it's like at that angle. These should be straight because then you can get that angle better. Move this out. You can plug it in up here. And I'll move this out, plug it in up here. Then this goes back down and plugs in where it was before in the head. And it has plugs for the arms right here. Pegs. Those pegs aren't, you know, they're bigger than the peg hole, but there's a reason for that because of the plastic they use. It like kind of stretches and bends. So that way you get a good connection. And you can put this back. I just did that for space. Now this right here, you bend out and move down, and it's going to connect right here. Now these don't always go well. They're going to come off. So I probably should just do them at the end. But guess what? I'm doing them now because I don't know why. Then what I do is put these legs together. It's just easier to do. Like, I don't know why they have it in the beginning. Like, they start with the legs. I don't start with the legs. So then you can get that like that. Now you want to try to pull this out. This is super tight. I thought I was breaking it, but I wasn't. It's supposed to do that. So you want to pull this out. It's on a sliding bar. Now it's not too bad. Pull that out, pull this side out. Again, it's not too bad now. Is this peg right here. This peg is too big for this hole, so it takes a lot of strength to get in there, and it's still not in there right. Then you move this up here like that. Move this out. Move this all the way down. And then you want to move this on this double hinge like this. You move it in there, and then this goes down here like this, and then you can bend it like this. And that's basically the final. So over here again, you do kind of the same thing almost. Well, no, not really. I don't know why I said that, but you can move this piece down. Slide this piece like this. Slide this piece up. This piece is going like this. Get this like that. Then you push this down into there. That goes into there. Then this moves like that, and you just move this up. Move these pieces right here, which is, they're together now. Move them down here. Then this right here is on that double hinge there, and you want to try to get that out here like this. So this should be here. This is why you kind of want this here to give you so you know where these legs should be at all times. But it does come out, so it doesn't work the greatest to kind of be your compass, but it does keep it where it needs to be if you have it on there. So now you have it like this, and your accordion, show that again, your accordion this, and it should be together, but again, it came out. So your accordion that in there, comes up like that. Try to get this together again. There we go. Got it together this time. Then you move this. Move this like this. Slide it in. Stays like that. And then move this in. Now this is super hard, and that hurt. But everything has a place, of course. Got a peg there. Some pegs up there. This is going to slide together. Then you move this one too. Make sure that's pegged in. Slide this over. Pinch myself. Watch for the pinch. See, together it makes the grill up here. And you just situate it, because I'm sure all this stuff done got out of whack. Then you pull, you're supposed to pull this up, then pull the hook down. And voila. I don't know how smooth that was. Apologize, but it's a lot going on, which is why I don't like these transformations. They're doable, and once you get them, you're like, oh, okay. But it's overwhelming at first. It was overwhelming, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I try to pride myself on being able to transform anything, and I like transforming stuff, but it was overwhelming when I first started doing it. So you got the hook. The hook goes up and down. You can move it around like this, all the way around. It goes in and out on this joint and this joint right here, so you can get those. This does get stuck. I don't know what's going on in there. It moves like this, which I'm not certain it's supposed to. It does give it a little extra articulation when you're hooking. I don't know. The hook down here moves that far, and then the head moves up and down, and it's cool. It's cool. Got a lot of good articulation. Wheels, it rolls. Wheels aren't rubber, of course. Got the purple windows. I showed the front. Got the grill and the headlights. purple cockpit back here, working the hook. I assume, I don't know too much about construction vehicles, but I would assume somebody's working the hook and somebody's driving, or the same person doing both. But you got two separate cockpits. Then the back looks unfinished as with the other one. I guess they had to do what they had to do. Then bring them in, and here they are together. Again, I apologize. I'm not going back to robot. The next video will be Devastator, and I will be working on that. All right. So I appreciate you guys watching, sticking with me if you're still here, and I'll get up with you in another one. Peace.
Ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over. As long as you're alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.